Hey there, good morning. Good morning, and it is what? It's Thursday morning. I can't believe that the week is going by. In one way, it feels like the week has just gone by like this, and in another week, it feels like the week is just dragging ass, you could say. But I was sitting here and listening to the birds chirp in my new backyard and trying to just wake up because I think last night was potentially the first night that I've actually slept halfway decent, even though the dog kept trying to wake me up. I'm not going to complain too much, but I did sleep halfway decent the last night, probably in like 3 weeks and just have not been able to sleep. So I woke up this morning just in gratitude that I actually got to sleep pretty decent last night. And then came downstairs and instantly checked to see if there was any water by my coffee pot because I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on over here? And there was no water by the coffee pot this morning. So the house ghost must have behaved himself last night or something. I came out here and was just listening to the birds and trying to figure out what the heck, God wanted me to talk about this morning. And I'm sitting here at my back patio table and I'm staring at this bullseye. Okay, so we have a dartboard and it needs to be hung up still, some darts and everything. And I was staring at it and I was thinking about focus and about this and about that. I was like, well, that's a good topic, just talking about focus. But then I started realizing, it's like, you don't just focus in on something. That's not how it works. You don't just focus in on something. And I look at like my last 3.5 weeks, whatever it's going on now, and I've had to maintain overall focus of everything, but at the same time having to take things step by step as to where they're at in the moment. So that's what the end of what the topic is today. It's quite literally maintaining focus step by step, because really truly that is what we all have to do no matter what the situation is. That's beside the point. When we are focusing in on something, when we're looking at something as something that we want to achieve, something that we want to have, or we get caught into a situation where we're kind of pushed into it, right? Or at least we feel like we're pushed into it. I want to yawn, so I'm going to drink coffee instead. But when we are looking at how do I maintain focus, and I think that this is a really big one, because I know goal setting and looking at creation work, looking at things that we want. Let me adjust there we go. Looking at things that we desire to manifest into our life. We look at it and we go, well, it said just focus and go do, right? Just focus and go do. It's easy. It's so easy. It is and it isn't. But we get caught up on kind of like that big picture, and maintaining the big picture thought is often really, really hard, because the daily shit gets in our way. And that's what happens, is the daily shit gets in our way, and it makes it really hard to keep focus on the long-term range goals, desires, and dreams, right? So you come back and you look at, what can I do? And I am a list maker, but I'm not a hardcore list maker. So I have like my list of 1,000 things. And at the same time, I can go a week without getting anything on that particular list really done and it not bug me at this point in my life. I used to be really bad about it, but I do believe that lists are kind of important. Journaling it out, some way of getting it down on paper where it is written down. And that's like those long-term goals. So in all of my journaling practices, I have people write down different things. And normally my journaling practices really focus in around what somebody is, wanting, what you're wanting to create, getting into the feeling of what you're wanting to create. Really tap into that. And it is easier to tap in and hold on to, especially long-term, a feeling range instead of, I want $1 million and I'm going to do it by winning the lottery, and I'm going to do it this way, and this is going to happen, and I'm going to go to this gas station and buy a ticket, and blah, 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 and the winning numbers are going to be da, 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 da. See, now that's all this like trying to trying to kind of handcuff God in there, right? And say, this is how I want this to manifest. But when we tap into the feeling, we open that up. When we're looking at keeping our focus, we're keeping our focus on overall feeling of what we want. So I'm just going to consistently throw myself underneath the bus here, like I normally do anyway, but really in this moment. So I have a lot of negativity going on in my life right now that definitely would be perceived as negativity. A lot of stress, a lot of negativity, a lot of, concern, all this different stuff. If I got overly caught up in the moment's energy and and what is that feeling of right now in any one of these moments through the last 3 weeks, or probably the next 3 weeks, who knows, and I just allowed it to eat away at me, then I would lose focus of my overall feeling that I want to have. And the overall feeling that I want to have is happiness, joy. I mean, like in my journal, I write, I don't know how, but it just is that I'm in love with my life. That statement right there of I don't know how, but it just is that I'm in love with my life is not a statement of worry, concern, fear, anger, frustration, anything like that. That is that I'm in love with my life. So I'm focusing in on consistently finding little ways to be in love with my life in the moments where I'm also concerned and I'm frustrated and I'm this and I'm that, right? All these things. So my long-term focus is joy, happiness, being in love with my life, having peace, having this, having that, right? Having connection, having all these different things. And I've managed to maintain by doing daily mindset practices and internal work. I managed to maintain that long-term feeling no matter what the moment-to-moment stuff is. And then everything else is just taking it step by step by step. And those little steps are quite literally just recognition, remaining in the witness point of view as much as possible, allowing the ego to come out, allowing the ego to be expressed. So feeding it breadcrumbs, as I say, tossing it some breadcrumbs here and there so that it doesn't come in an over attack, right? So it doesn't do that. But at the same time, really focusing in on like, okay, so yes, this moment I'm stressed because there's this, I'm stressed because there's that, but then coming back to that witness state and going, long-term range goal is I'm in love with my life. What is it about, what is it about that I can love right now in this moment? So it might just be like coming and sitting on my back patio, because I am really in love with my little back patio going on here. It's just like, it's a place that I feel like there's just like, I can have a cup of coffee, I can have a glass of wine, I can just drink a bottle of water and just sit and chill. And it's so peaceful with the birds and this. So bringing back into that mindset some way to manifest the positive, a connection of positive energy to my long range goal of being in love with my life. So look at what my kind of homework for you today is to look at what a long range goal would be for you and what that feels like, instead of just going like the whole I want I'm going to win $1 million through the lottery, blah 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 blah. Okay, so if you're just looking at this physical, tangible thing that you're wanting to create into your life, try to bring it into an emotional range of what does that feel like. Because if you get into the what does it feel like, if you get into the what does it feel like, what's going to end up happening is it's going to give you more strength, more concentration, and I don't mean just mental concentration, but more concentrated energy to actually create what you're wanting to create. So just to really focus in on that. And it also really is a freeing of God's hands, you could say, because anytime we start to get into the nitty-gritty details of how something's supposed to come about, we handcuff God. We really do. We handcuff God, and that's just not, it's never a good thing to handcuff God. Coffee break. So yeah, so focusing in on that long-term range goal, but then coming back to the fact that everything has to be step by step, right? So long-term goals, whether you are focused in on feeling or not, is going to come back to the step by step of in the moment, and looking at, really truly looking at what in this moment, even though it may not be perceived in this moment as though it's working out in your favor, as though it is, in alignment to what you're wanting, it is definitely there for a reason, for a purpose. And the more you can lean in and focus into how can I change the energy of this moment, instead of getting caught up into it, because if we get caught up into that negative emotion in the moment, it's okay to go there for a second. That's the feeding of the ego. That's that, give some breadcrumbs to the ego. But you got to be really, really careful, because what happens to a lot of people is we end up often shut down and closed off. So we will just kind of isolate ourselves into ourselves, or we will overly vocalize in negative ways, so go into victim mode and be like and all this different stuff. So it's just pouring out of us in a negative way, and we're still attaching into ego instead of into volunteer mode, into empowerment mode, into the realization that even with every single little negative energy, we have the choice in that moment to choose again our emotional response, to choose again and to consistently, positively impact our energetic flow, our output, and how everything is operating around us. And that comes in through really just looking at the situation, going, okay, I'm feeling, let's just say, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling any of these low-level energies, right? So you're feeling angry, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling upset, concerned, worry. Those are typically the basic ones, right? So you're feeling that, and then you look at it, where is my blessing? What am I grateful for? And I always come back to gratitude. You're going to hear that over and over again from me and so many different things. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Because when we focus in on gratitude energy is just about as strong and potentially just as strong as love energy. So the two top primary, like high level energies that you want to focus in on is gratitude and love. Sometimes in a negative situation, coming back to love is a really, really difficult place to get to, because we're not in love with our life in that moment. We're not in love with the actions of somebody else, or with our own actions, or with anything. So coming to a state of gratitude can be easier, and it is a very, very strong energy of manifestation power. So to really just get in there and go, okay, I'm feeling worried, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling concerned, I'm feeling depressed. What am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? And I know I've had those moments where it's just like, I'd say, well, at least I'm still alive. And I go, oh, man, like death would be a blessing right now, because I don't want to be alive. I don't want to exist. I don't want to have to go through this. Even in those moments, it has to be, you get really, really bad. And there's a whole nother area of like depression and stuff that I'm not going to that. I'm talking about the everyday, just all the stuff that the average person is going through. Okay. So if you suffer from massive depression, that's a whole nother topic. I'm talking about that depression that everybody suffers from here and there, and just really getting down into those nasty feelings and how to overcome that. And yes, sometimes it's hard to tap into that gratitude and just being grateful for the air in your lungs. If you can't be grateful for the air in your lungs, be grateful for the air in the lungs of your children. Be grateful for, the fact that the world is still turning around in circles. Be grateful for how, try to find something that you really do enjoy. Like maybe it is watching the sunrise or the sunset or a good cup of coffee or something simple like that. Anything that you can just go, if you find yourself sitting down and going, and just going, yay, like finally this moment. Focus in on that moment of gratitude and just experiencing that for what it is, and letting yourself just really revel in that, and just absorb it, get into it, enjoy it, all that good stuff. So let me see what else. Lost my train of thought there. You're going to see popping up on the screen here a Feel Good Now course, and that Feel Good Now course that you hear me talking about all the time, because it has in it all my daily practices and everything that I do to really just kind of focus in, and no matter what kind of crap life might dish out to me, to kind of just push through and go through that stuff, and not fully submerge myself into the quicksand of ego, because that's what ends up happening is ego just will grab us, and it'll just get us stuck in there. And once you're stuck in the quicksand of your ego, it's a hell of a lot harder to get out than just to not ever get in. So the trick to a lot of the stuff, like especially here in Conscious Coffee, what I'm always talking about is trying to overcome some of that stuff, or just not tap in and get involved in that stuff to begin with. Recognizing it for what it is, increasing your consciousness. Some people might call it enlightenment, being awake, awareness, presence. It's all the same thing. It's just about being consciously aware of your internal world, taking responsibility for your internal world and calling it the way it is. And it's okay to be an ego, and it is okay to experience the negative emotions and thoughts and feelings and all these different things that comes up. It's just, are you setting up camp there and moving in, or are you just passing by and doing like a little scenic detour? So if you're doing the scenic detour, no worries at all. Have your fun on the scenic detour. Go, yep, okay, I felt that, I said that happened, blah, 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 and move on. But if you're setting up camp, that's going to really pull that negative energy down. So the Feel Good Now course definitely works through some of that stuff, and how to bring yourself out of those challenging emotions that can want us to set up camp and hang out there, to bring coming back to more of a positive mindset. And then also you're going to see another thing on here called Fuck Yes Life training, and that is my free course out right now, and it goes through a whole bunch of different things as well on how to create that fuck yes life, as I call it. And it's not just living in a state of abundance and travel and like organic chocolate, roses, and wine, as I always say. It's not just about that, but really truly the fuck yes lifestyle is about what's going on inside ourselves, that alignment, and letting ourselves just get into that alignment, because from that place of alignment, good shit is always coming to us, and it makes it a heck of a lot easier to go ahead and be able to find your blessing, that gratitude, right? When it's kind of like God is always dumping blessing on us. So look at that. Look at those two courses. At least grab the free one. And if you want to expand out and really tap into that stuff, then go into the Feel Good Now one, because both of those will definitely have some powerful techniques in there and different things that I use. I can see. So I really feel kind of complete around this topic for at least the purpose of Conscious Coffee this morning. So I'm probably going to just leave off there. I did not make it to my daily vlog yesterday, so I will make it to my daily vlog today, hopefully. Had a lot of different things that I had to get accomplished yesterday, but look for the daily vlog coming out hopefully a little bit later today, and different stuff. Still trying to get all the chaos in my world figured out and straightened out and all that good stuff. So as the weeks progress, as the days progress, kind of move a little bit fast, I think, for the most part. Speed is definitely kind of a thing in my nature. I don't move, I don't just sit around and let things just kind of just, I don't know, marinate. That would be a good word. So probably by next week, you're going to see a whole bunch of other stuff coming out as well. Back to writing, back to more videos, all that good stuff. And Addison Bell and I have a workshop coming up at the end of this month. I'm not going to give a whole bunch of talk on this. I'm going to make a video announcement later today on that particular workshop. So just look for that to come out as well. And as always, if there was anything in this conscious coffee that was helpful, beneficial, made you think, whatever, if you even have a question, feel free to definitely pop it off here, share it in the comment section, send me a message privately, whatever works on that. But if there was anything in here that impacted you at all, please hit the little share button. Help me get Conscious Coffee out there, and just, you know, Facebook loves shares, Facebook loves all the hearts and the likes and all that good stuff. Tag somebody who might need to hear it if you know somebody who is needing to have just a little bit more clarity in their life and what that really means. Because really the topic of, we get told all the time, have focus, you know, stay focused, but really getting focused in on that long-term range goal and holding it can be really difficult. It really can, especially when we're looking at something, you know, like I brought up, like the winning $1 million on the lottery. That's a hard thing too. It almost becomes like a joke in our head, so we don't really attach to it, and we're just giving it lip service, and we're not really giving it emotional service. And what we have to do is tap into that emotional service of what we're looking for to really be able to get into alignment to. So definitely hit the share button, tag a friend on this, for we all need somebody to kind of give us a little push and little guidance on stuff. And we all do have goals and want to create an awesome life for ourselves. So hit the share, hit the tag button, make a comment. Thanks for all your love. I remember, well, number one, before I say my statement, tomorrow I will be back for Friday Conscious Coffee around 6 a.m. as well. But remember to stop existing and start living. Love you guys.